Valido here again, coming to you live from the Valido Stronghold Dojo with another installment of E to the 3. Today we're going to be doing a book review, something that I haven't done before, but something that I hope to do a little more of because I do believe there are some really great books out there that you, as a martial artist, can partake of and just increase your knowledge base from. My former Chinese Kempo instructor, rest his soul, Shidoshi Phil Wimberly, used to say that a study of the martial arts should be just that, a study. And on every training level in our system of Chinese Kempo that we studied, there was a required book to read. And this is how I was introduced to the particular book that I'm going to be sharing with you today. I can't quite remember which level it was, which belt rank it was that I had to read this, but all I know is that I've had this book for well over 16, 17 years now, and I know I've read it at least 3 times. That's how good it is. And it is, in my opinion, one of the best books out there for a martial artist to read and to truly absorb its teachings. So the book that we're talking about today is called Living the Martial Way. And Living the Martial Way is written by Forrest E. Morgan, who I'm sure is now retired, but he was a major in the U.S. Air Force. The book it's not, very big. It's got about, a little over 300 pages. And as you can see, my copy here is not completely tattered or anything. I've tried to take good care of it because it is a good book. It's an amazing book. And what I'd like to do today, without, obviously reading it to you page by page, is just kind of go through the table of contents and talk about some of the things that it has to offer. So, very quickly, obviously an introduction, has a background on the martial arts, why we even practice the martial arts today. Part 1 is called The Way of Training. Chapter 1 is called The Warrior Mindset. Chapter 2 is called Your Martial Destiny. In Your Martial Destiny, it talks about things like doctrine, strategy, and tactics. It talks about the pitfalls of a narrow doctrine and building your skills around a doctrinal core. Chapter 3 is called Train as Warriors Train. Chapter 4 is called The Warrior's Way of Strategy. How to read your opponent, controlling the fighting range, using rhythm and timing. Chapter 5 is called The Warrior's Spellbook. It talks about all kinds of cool stuff like finding kokoro, talking about the kiai and the aiki, practice harage, developing the kokyu chikara, and applying kime. Just really cool things that are based in the more esoteric side, if you will, of the martial arts. Things that, in my opinion, are sorely lacking today in martial arts practice, at least here in America, in my humble opinion. Part 2 is called The Way of Honor. And this is a really important chapter. It talks about the foundations of honor. That's the name of chapter 6. The basic tenets of honor. It talks about obligation, justice, courage, honor, and face, and developing your own sense of honor. Now, chapter 7 is honor in action, putting honor to work, truthfulness, courtesy, restraint, loyalty, service. Chapter 8 is about revenge and suicide, perversions of honor. Part 3 now is really, in my opinion, the meat here, the way of living, warrior fitness, the 3 pillars of fitness, nutrition and weight control. That's chapter 9 is warrior fitness. Chapter 10 is religion and mysticism. It talks about the different beliefs and philosophies that stemmed from and or were a part of traditional martial arts training. Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism. Chapter 11 is The Warrior Stands Alone. 3 Keys to Warrior Dignity. The Secret of Personal Power. And chapter 12 is Mastery and the Martial Way. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And it is my goal in this lifetime to be able to employ the knowledge that I have been given in my martial arts training. I want to employ that in my everyday life. To me, that's the goal. The goal to me in martial arts is not just about how to beat somebody up, how to punch and kick, and how to defend myself. Although, the last one, how to defend myself, is a very, very important thing. But beyond that, what is beyond that? I'm not defending myself physically on a daily basis. So what can I put my martial arts practice, how can I put that to use? Well, it talks about it right here. And for me personally, it's a work in progress. I'm not quite Chan Kane. I'm not Mr. Miyagi, Sensei Jerry has his own personal pitfalls in life that are my opponents on a day-to-day basis. And I'm just like everybody else. I have a job, I have a family, I have personal goals and endeavors, and the pitfalls and the obstacles in all of those aspects of my life could be overcome by putting my martial arts training to use in those areas. But you need to know how. And this book is a great guide on how to do so. So now I'm going to give you the disclaimer here. Not the disclaimer, but the bad part about this particular book. It's no longer in print. I went online a while back because I wanted to purchase a couple more copies of these, and I found out that they are no longer printing this book. You may get lucky because in years past, not recently, but in years past, I have seen these in bookstores. I have seen these this book in Barnes & Noble. If you go to the Barnes & Noble website, you should be able to find it, and that's how they told me it was out of print. But I did go on to, it was either Amazon or eBay, and there are copies of this book on those websites. The sticker price for the book at the time I bought it was $16.95, and I'm sure you can find it for cheaper than that. And it's okay if it's dog-eared, it's okay if it's not, in perfect condition, as long as obviously the pages are intact and you have the entire book, you're fine. Just read it. That's my advice for you today. Just read this book. You will not regret it. If you're a martial artist, you will not regret it. The tagline here under the title, Living the Martial Way, is a manual for the way a modern warrior should think. And that's the great thing about this book. It's geared to us as modern warriors. We are not, samurai in the 15th or 16th century, or the Shaolin monk, back in 800, in the year 800 or something. It's for us today in our society, in our world. So once again, I highly recommend it. Living the Martial Way by Major Forrest E. Morgan. This is part of the E to the 3 mantra of enlightening your mind. Okay, and along with this, you'll be able to also enable your body and empower your spirit. All right, so we'll see you on the next installment of E to the 3. Make it happen.